Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's section organized by TripleAFoundation through the Rise project. We are delighted to have you join us for what promises to be an insightful and empowering discussion. My name is Obed Kallai, and I'll be your host for today's event. Joining me as a co-host is Nhyiraba Asamoah. I want to give a high-level overview of TripleAFoundation. TripleAFoundation is an NGO which is committed to empower. Have you join us for what promises to be an insightful and empowering discussion. My name is Obed Kallai, and I'll be your host for today's event. Joining me as a co-host is Nhyiraba Asamoah. I want to give a high-level overview of TripleAFoundation. TripleAFoundation is an NGO which is committed to empower. Have you join us for what promises to be an insightful and empowering discussion. My name is Obed and I'll be for today's event. I'm getting a bad feedback here. Sorry about that. About TripleAFoundation. Joining me as a co-host is Nhyiraba.
So kindly lower the video you have on LinkedIn Live and use the interface you're using.
TripleAFoundation is an NGO which is committed to empower. Actually, I have only one device to hear, so I'm really surprised where the feedback is coming from. I'm getting a bad feedback here. Sorry about that. About TripleAFoundation.
Lower the video you have on LinkedIn Live and use the interface
TripleAFoundation is an NGO which is committed to empower. Actually, I have only one device to hear, so I'm really surprised where the feedback is coming from. I'm getting a bad feedback here. Sorry about that. About TripleAFoundation. Hello, Kwasi, please, can you hear me? Actually, I have only one device to hear, so I'm really surprised.
All right, listeners. We're having a bit of technical challenge with our host, but this TripleAFoundation will be sorted out very soon. We are live. We are bringing you another insightful discussion from TripleAFoundation. We've been around for quite a while. We've been empowering African child one child at a time. One of the things that we've done is to look at various aspects of what the African child needs to compete in tomorrow's world. So we've done empower her. We are now focusing on Rise. Our aim is to educate, empower, and give you the necessary tool that is going to help you succeed in today's and tomorrow's world and compete. So if you are watching that, don't go away. We are sorting out a technical challenge. The host will join in, and then we'll have a very wonderful discussion. Do not go away. Your comment is so valuable to us. We are here to interact with you as well. So let's see if the host is back. Then we take it there. Okay. So stay with us. You're not going to take a lot of your time, but trust me, those few minutes you're going to have an insightful discussion from AAA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kwasi York. I was talking about what AAA Foundation is about. So at AAA, we are committed to empowering young people through mentorship, leadership development, skill training, and personal growth opportunities. Through the Rewise project, we create platforms where young people can learn practical skills and help succeed academically. For today's section, our focus is on skills that has helped transform people, empower them through their lives, build confidence, and open doors through countless opportunities. Our topic for today is public speaking, overcoming fear and delivering comparing presentations. Whether in the classroom, workplace, business environment, or community, the ability to communicate effectively is one of the most valuable skills anyone can possess. I would want to continue by saying that we have in our midst one of our own who is in the person of Mr. Kwasi York. But before I do the introduction, I would want us to have a very short icebreaker. And this is the question to the icebreaker. So I want us to assess ourselves and answer this question. What has been our biggest challenge in public speaking? So in the next 2 minutes, if you have an answer to this question, you can just put it in the comment section. Thank you. Let's keep them coming. All this important conversation, we are honored to have a remarkable guest speaker with us today. Our guest speaker is Mr. Kwasi York, a passionate communicator, a public speaker, a youth development advocate who has inspired a lot of individuals in his leadership and speaking engagements. Through his experience and work, he has empowered young people to build confidence, communicate effectively.
All right. I think our host is going off again. These things are expected. If you are with us, don't go away. We'll sort it out soon and then get back into it. So if you are watching us, this is TripleAFoundation. Our main aim is to empower, educate. With a We Rise, one of the things I want to assure you after this conversation your fear of public speaking, would you understand what it means to overcome them. And then I think sharing one or two nuggets, you'll be able to also become an effective speaker. Still waiting for our speaker. All right. So my name is Kwasi York. I've been around for a while. I'm a volunteer of AAA, a proud one, of course. Um, Originally, I'm from a village. That's where I work, not from, but that's where I've been for the past 5 years. And with the power of social media and the power of LinkedIn, I've been able to build a certain brand about myself by overcoming a lot of challenges. One of the major challenges that I had was public speaking. Public speaking used to be something that I was so scared because of the way naturally I talk. I talk very fast sometimes, and then when I get nervous and upset, I stammer. So I didn't really want to speak a lot. When I was growing up, I had a challenge speaking. People thought that people were used to ask my mom whether I talk. That's how far it's been. So overcoming it has been a very great deal, and I've used that story to inspire many others. Today we have a series of questions we want to address and also help you along your way in discovering your voice and understanding what it means to be an effective communicator, a public speaker. One of the things we want to share with you is the motivation factor of people getting into public speaking. You must understand that when you have 100 people in a room, 75% of those, or 75 people out of the 100, have a certain level of fear and anxiety when it comes to public speaking. So you must understand that public speaking, it's okay to have nervousness, it's okay to be afraid, but it's not okay to let the fear and the anxiety overcome you as I overcame. So the first question we want to tackle is that what is the motivation or what motivates individuals to pursue public speaking? I must say, most people think that if you have to enter into public speaking, you must be eloquent, you must speak good. When you talk, it's like an angel talking with, you know, a lot of things. But you could see that all over the world and throughout history, people who became public speakers were not really good orators in a certain way. But one of the things that stood out for them that they had a message. Okay, you can take Moses, you can take Jeremiah, you can take Jesus Christ. They had a message. So having a message is the first key of of pursuing public speaking. People also pursue public speaking because they had a desire to share knowledge, inspire change, build influence, create opportunities, and lead people, or probably advocating for a cause. And some of us, we've also used public speaking to build a brand. So every speaker will start with something, but these are some of the reasons why people really kind of get into public speaking. You know, for me, public speaking is just standing on the stage and talking, but helping people to move from where they are to where they could be. I look at how can I empower people to gain their full potential. And then the greatest public speakers are not attention seekers. So if your aim is to let the whole world know who you are and be famous, it's the wrong motive to pursue. Obviously, you end up falling into a trap along the way. But if you really want to solve problems, help people, this should be one of the ways you would want to pursue public speaker. But public speaking. All right. So my host is here. I'll let yield the mic to him and then we'll continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kwesi. So, to start public speaking, what you are supposed to do is that you need to have a message. Thank you so much. So, why is public speaking such an important skill in today's world?
Well, one thing that we must understand is that the world has changed so much. We are now in what we call the speakers economy or the digital economy, but I call it the attention economy. Everything is driven by attention. When you talk about the creators economy, it's an ecosystem where individuals like you and I can find ways to monetize their creativity, monetize their knowledge, and then also monetize their audience. You understand? it gives you that liberty as a private individual because of the way mobile phones have been made accessible to everyone. The internet, there's no gatekeepers. It has positioned us in a way that we can do things by ourselves. So we can. One of the things that you must understand is that your ability to communicate in this world now is more important than any skill that you have. You know, if you want to sell something, you must sell your ideas by speaking. If you are leading a team, you must communicate clearly to your team. If you are influencing the decision of building a trust, everything that you do has to do with public speaking. But many people lose this opportunity not because they don't have the knowledge to speak or they cannot communicate their value. They are your ability to speak can determine one whether you get hired or not. Okay, so when you go to an interview, you're supposed to talk, how confident you are, how you come up with issues. And any organization that you are in, you must understand that if you don't communicate yourself in a certain way, you will never get promoted. Nobody will even trust you with anything. When you go for a meeting, you are quiet, they have to ask you a question. So now communication is no longer an option. It's a survival skills in this economy. If you cannot communicate, you are off. It's a survival skill that every professional must have. And those of us that are in the global world are working internationally, if you can't communicate either in writing or in speaking, you will never be promoted. You will never get anywhere. So most people have the knowledge and everything, but what they lack is that the ability to develop those skills that they have. You get it? Uh-huh. So that would be what I would say on that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kwesi. So, communication is key in our everyday life, as is a survival skill, said by Mr. Kwesi. Thank you so much. So, what are some of the most important challenges faced by public speakers?
With it, I would want to use my own experience. When I started LinkedIn, I was just posting text. So I was afraid of pictures. I was afraid of camera. I was afraid of speaking. Even though I could talk and I mean talk to girls, you talk to girls and you rap them, it was okay for me. But when it got to global LinkedIn, 1 billion users, one of the biggest challenge I had was fear of people like my voice is not nice and what you said was wrong. And then the fear of failure if you try, you know, and you feel what the mental trauma that comes with it. And I could say the lack of preparation because I realized that anytime I'm going to speak and I prepare myself, the stammering doesn't come, the nervousness doesn't come, and self-doubt is also a key that I overcame. Another one is also poor audience engagement. I started when I was starting to speak. When I go and say, I find myself talking to myself. I don't even engage the audience properly, and sometimes too because I have ADHD, I have a lot of thoughts in my mind. Okay, so as I'm talking, the another thought coming. So sometimes I forget what I'm saying. So maybe I'm talking about A, then I'll jump to B, and I'll jump to C, and I'll even forget. So I wasn't coherent with what I was trying to say. Confidence. I didn't really have the confidence to was these things that I've mentioned: fear of judgment, fear of failure, lack of preparation, self-doubt, poor audience engagement, forgetting my content because of the ADHD syndrome that I have, and then lack of confidence. These are something that make people afraid to speak. Okay. And most people are also afraid of being rejected. Embarrassment is part of the public speaking. I've been rejected so many times. I only have my picture on the flyer. When I go, they will tell you the time is not enough, so they will cut you off. Sometimes you go there, I'm the speaker, main speaker, but they will invite another speaker, another speaker. These are all things that if you don't take it, you won't even go ahead to speak again. But I understand that embarrassment is the key in public speaking. And then sometimes we are also afraid to use a microphone. I had the privilege of using a microphone quite early because I was leading prayer, but most people are afraid of holding a microphone. I've been to an event where people want to ask questions, but they don't even want to hold the microphone. And then the fear of what people might think or say about them. these are some of the challenges that make people not want to pursue public speaking or the challenges. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kwesi, for highlighting some of the challenges that you faced so far. And the one that really caught my attention is that before you speak to any audience, you need to prepare and also try to work on your confidence. Thank you so much. So, my next question is, how can stage fright affect a public speaker's performance?
Well, it has everything to do with that. If you are affected with stage fright, Charlie, you are done for. You can't. It will affect your body. It will affect your mind. It will cause you those times. As guys, we want to move to a woman, and then these are some of the things that we want to talk to a girl sometimes, and then you be shaking. But this is the highest form. Imagine there's a pretty girl you want to talk to, and then the feeling you have of her. Imagine that you are now on the stage and the room is full of that kind of lady there. It caused you to one of the things that really affected me. I could see my palm will be sweating, I'll be shaking, and then my heart will to be beating faster. Boom, 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 boom. And then you have a bit of dry mouth. Sometimes when you're going, you have to carry water along. And then the mental blank that I said, and then you can't even maintain proper eye contact with people. You have movement, your shoulders will drop, the brain really doesn't know how to separate what is real and what is unreal. So anytime you go through the stage fright, it's interpreted as a social threat. So it activates certain survival mechanism that is normally used when there's a real danger. And because the challenge is that you must understand the challenge that you cannot really eliminate the light is in the presence of darkness. When like now I have a light and I'm using if I switch it off, the darkness is still there, but you have to develop certain techniques that you can overcome it. So the presence of light is I know those of us that are intelligent that they find darkness is the absence of light. Fear will be there, but you have to develop certain things that you can learn to perform despite having the fear. So the challenge that I had to do was to learn how to perform despite being nervous, learn how to perform despite the sweaty palms, excite myself, learning my how to control my breath, which reboot, I call it reboot, attack the middle of my chest. It has a certain level of psychological effect on you. And all people that I've met that probably sometimes experience nervousness. And I feel sometimes it's good because it doesn't let your ego override you. You simply learn how to manage the situation and then come out successful. So yeah.
Thank you so much for touching on this. I have my co-host in our midst, and I want to use this opportunity to welcome her. Nhyiraba, you're welcome. So, Mr. Kwesi, what strategies can help individuals overcome the fear of public speaking?
Yeah, I just want to go practical. I know there's a lot of enough strategy all around. What I do is that you have to start from somewhere, start small. If you have a church, you have a school, you have a class, try and engage people in small groups. Move from talking to one on people are comfortable talking to one on one. Okay, so what I did was that I started talking to strangers first. So I find ways to kill off the nervousness that comes with strangers. So maybe one and look at way of talking to small groups. Confidence really grows through exposure. Public speaking, for me, I've come to understand that if you are not exposed, you can never grow in confidence. Okay, to put yourself in a situation where you would be able to lead small groups or talk in front of small groups or raise your hand, raise a suggestion. Doesn't You don't need to lead, but when they're having a discussion, just point out something that you can contribute in front of people and then overcome those things with it. Two, know your material, understand your message. One of the reasons why we get nervous is that we feel that we are not good enough. To kill that, preparation will always reduce anxiety. If I can prepare myself and go and do the things that I have to rehearse in mirror and do, one of the things is I'll get nervous, but my nervousness will not come will not kind of emanate because I'm not prepared or I don't know what I'm talking about. Anything you're not prepared, you shake, you have anxiety. But move away from that. Okay, I'm going to speak, but my speaking, I'm going to get nervous. My nervousness will not come because I'm not prepared. All right. So the more familiar you are with your content, the less fear you will feel. You understand? Is somebody going to ask me a dangerous question? Somebody going to do? I know my stuff. So that, and then focus on helping people rather than saying, what will people say about me? There's a book that Del Kennedy wrote a book on public speaking. It says that understand that public speaking is like you're in a room and then the room is on fire and you know the exit that will help people to be free. So once you are starting there, you're showing people direction. You are here to help them. You understand? And then number four, you must practice repeatedly. Look, rehearsals and things come improve your competence and confidence. You can only be confident. You see, you can only be confident when you're consistent. First, you must be consistent before you become exceptional. And then this thing that I do is I record myself. So on my TikTok page, I put some videos together of me recording myself, watching. I'll put a pen in my mouth. But I realize that where I'm from, no, the pronunciation and the diction is not good. So if I want to meet the international, say I put a pen in my mouth and I have to read to at least work on how I pronounce things and learn how my tongue will roll. And then another important thing is to join speaking communities that are there. We have Toastmasters. I've taken a course of that on LinkedIn. And then one thing that I try to do, anything that I'm not good at, I find ways of taking a course. Okay. Either bought or free. Online, there are many platforms that are there. LinkedIn is free. When you have the 1 month free subscription, that's what I use to do it. So this organization also help cares the fears that you might be going through. So don't think start doing and then all the fears will disappear. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kwesi. So, what I learned was that to be able to work on your nervousness, you need to prepare adequately. And also, you need to practice. Try to know the script you are going to deliver to your audience. And lastly, you need to be very consistent. Thank you so much, Mr. Kwesi. Moving on to my next question, I would want to find out what qualities distinguish an effective public speaker from an average one.
Well, this question, I wish I was in a better, maybe in my 60s and 80s. I'll be able to give you qualities that I feel, but I just started this public speaking not long ago. I think this is my third or second year. What I would say is that great speakers that I've seen have a certain level of clarity to their message. You could listen to them and then feel like, okay, you understand what they are saying, and then they have a certain level of relatability. They are clear on the message they are trying to convey. You understand them in a way. And another thing that I noticed is that the level of confidence is too high. They are too confident in themselves, and you could understand that, okay, this person really. Sometimes all the things that they are saying is not wow, it's not really, but the confidence and the energy they are saying it with, it's inspiring. And each of the great speakers has a certain level of authenticity around them. Okay. So one is clarity, two is confidence, three is authenticity. They have something different from what others have. They have something about speaking differently. And one of the things that they kind of have certain level of empathy. They kind of relate to you, and sometimes you feel that, oh, this person understands who I am, what I'm going through, what I want to achieve. So then you can tap into them. And another important thing is that they are very good storytellers. They can tell you a story beginning to end. And some of them also have strong presentation skills. They are aware of their audience, they can notice them. So a speaker is not supposed to sound perfect. They are just one of the things that immediately you don't sound like a human, people cannot connect with you. So these are the things that I would want to go over again. Clarity, confidence for me, authenticity, empathy, strong presentation skills, good storytelling, a little bit of audience awareness, and then these things can help you connect more But those people that do not do any of these, they struggle to really connect with their audience when they speak.
Thank you so much. Nhyiraba, please do you have any follow-up question for Mr. Kwasi?
Okay, so what role does preparation play in delivering a successful speech or presentation?
Hi, Nhyiraba. Yeah, so preparation is everything. You know, if you cannot prepare, you cannot be a public speaker. If you can, it's like being a singer and then you don't want to do rehearsals. You just want to use the stage as your rehearsal. You will make a lot of mistakes. So it's the preparation that you move you see, one of the things we must understand is that great speeches don't really come spontaneously. You know, there are some that are very real that we can have like the story of Jesus Christ in the amount of with the beatitude. We can have the Martin Luther story that just came. But good speakers, one, prepare on their they know what they are saying. They prepare on the type of examples they want to use, the type of stories they want to use, how they want to even open their statement, and how they want to close. These are all preparational. So it's not just no, those stories, those of you that do not understand. Like when I come and stand there now, the anointing will come and no, it comes with preparation. You know, that is what is going to create content and confidence for you. Preparation will also boost your confidence so that when you are giving the impact, people can see that okay, this is really something that I can connect with. No, but you know, people don't see the preparation behind. But if you are serious about this craft and you want to go places, I remember those times that nobody invited me every day of my life up to the time that I decided to do social media full time. Every blessed day, including this morning, I'll wake up, I do my part time. When I read a book, I'll put a pen in my mouth and I will read. And then I'll put a camera there and I'll talk about anything. Okay, I talk about A, B, C, something like that. For 2 minutes, I record, I play back, then I move on. Preparation, because you need to prepare before the invites come. Okay, you cannot stay there and wait that when you are being invited to go and talk about A, then you're not, people will know that this guy has not prepared. So preparation is key. So if you cannot prepare, you cannot be a public speaker in a way. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So, how can speakers maintain audience engagement throughout a presentation?
Okay. So this question is a bit dicey because there's a different audience and how they react. You know, so most people will pay attention to you if they feel whatever you are saying is relevant to their lives. So there's a little bit of like something that you don't really have a bit of control over. That's why when you're going to speak, one of the things you must ask the people that you're going to, if you have been invited, how are the audience like? Okay, who are they? So that you can find out how to meet them halfway. You can come and maybe somebody is scrolling and he's not interested in public speaking. Come and give the best delivery you have. Nobody cares. They'll just move away. You know, people really understand this principle. People will listen to you when they feel understood, they are understanding what you are saying, or they are interested in the topic, or you involve them. One of the things when I go to public, I intentionally want to show up early, either online or I want to show up early, online or physical event, to see the people, greet them, like have a kind of socialization with them into my personality. Oh, this is the guy I met earlier before the program. He greeted me. So I've bought a certain kind of likeness to them. Okay. And then you get them involved. So you can start with a prop or something involved. They pay attention. All right. And then let's say you can start by asking questions. And then everybody likes stories, interesting stories. You know, use examples. You can have a sense of humor attached to it, involve audience in a way where you can let them do something. Oh, I need people to come and do something. You know, everybody pay attention. Or I have a gift for you when you answer this question. These are all, and then you learn how to also vary your tone. You don't sound like the same monologue all throughout. When you're excited, you show the reaction, and then if you have a way of using visuals to it helps. People remember stories more than facts and statistics. There's a saying that facts inform, stories transform. To find stories that you can use to engage them. So that's why knowing your audience is very important to every speaker. You cannot give the same message to everyone. You have to know the audience, ask certain questions. How are they? What are their age? And all those things. These are all important. Yeah.
Stories transform. So, Kwasi, what impact does body language have on um what impact does body language have on effective communication?
This is one of my areas that I'm working on now. So I don't think I really qualify to answer, but I might see your body posture exudes something to the audience. If you are afraid, they will know. If you are confident, they will know. If you are credible, how you even raise your hand. Of late, I'm learning how to and things. And sometimes when I started, I was so nervous to walk around. I would start at one place with my mic like this, like so. But now I'm trying to work on it. One of the things that I've worked on is maintaining eye contact. Very important. And then facial expression is also good. You must be smiling in your head. One of the things that I tell public speakers, smile, let your face be cheerful. When you're talking about starting, let it portray your gestures and movement. You must also time them because people when they're talking, they are moving their hands a lot than being stiff. Okay, so your body often speaks more than your mouth does. So your dressing should be key. You shouldn't go and wear. I'm not saying go and buy your suit or anything, but put on something that people can see that this guy could communicate. This thing communicate professionalism or seriousness. A powerful message delivered by a weak body will lose its impact. You see, when you are giving a powerful message and your body language is weak, it's poor, you lose the impact that you want to give. Yeah. Hello, are you there? All right. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So, can you tell us some common mistakes
Yeah, I'm
people
here.
make during public presentations and
Nhyiraba, are you
how
around?
they can avoid? Yes, please, I'm here.
Okay. I think we've lost Nhyiraba for a while. So
Please, hello.
I want to. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What?
All right. So I think the next question will rather be what are some of the common mistakes people make when they are doing public speaking presentation? One of the common mistakes that I used to do is that I used to talk very fast. One, because most of the time that I'm giving to do the presentation, people don't really respect social media things and things. So they always put you last, they'll cut short your time. So one of the things that most people put me through is that they give me small minutes and sometimes you've also prepared enough and you want to deliver. So sometimes you talk too fast. Another thing is that people go and then the slides that they have, they'll be reading their slides. It's not powerful. You lose your audience when you are just reading because they can also read. Another one is people don't prepare. They put off preparation. You've been invited to come and speak, and then for the whole week, you've not even touched anything. And you think you can write anything and come and stand there and speak, and nobody will see. It's something else. And one of the mistakes I used to do is that I used to put too much information. in one session. It becomes an information overload. Okay, and then when you are going to speak, try and know the audience needs. Okay, why is the person coming? Try and ask the organizer why. What do they expect from you? What do the people really need? That's very important. And then people also use complicated languages. The English language, there are two. I used to, there's one of my aunties used to say, somebody who has been to university has a different level of English that they speak. Somebody who is in JHS who has it. So try and find a language that is simple that anybody can understand. Don't go and use big words in your language. It throws off people. They don't have a clear structure. They sometimes they speak at people instead of speaking with them. The goal is not to impress people, it's to impact them. You must learn how to communicate well. And it comes with consistency and showing up daily and improving one step at a time. Yeah.
Okay. So tell us, how can young people develop strong public speaking skills and confidence over time?
Number one, you have to read. You have to read regularly. If you're a young person, you want to make it in this life, you need to read like every day. Read self-help books. Activate the brain system of accessing information, because the public speaking that we do is what we've read and then the good things we've had from it. It's like eating good nutrients. That's how you become fit. To read, you can also join public speaking clubs, volunteer to do presentation. When anybody is doing presentation, say that you are the one that I want to do a presentation. Okay, find a way of creating video content. TikTok, you must be there and start put your face there and talk. I know it's something people are not comfortable with, but it separates you. You must understand that 75% of the world's population are afraid of speaking. So if you can be part of the 25%, you'll be rewarded. So move away from the 75% who are afraid and all that and go into the 25% and do everything possible to overcome. Okay. And then practice how to tell a story. You can participate in debates, learn from great speakers. When you see anybody talking in a car, standing outside, communicating something, try and learn something. Okay, what can I learn from this person speaking? So that you add it to yours. YouTube, social media, there are people that have many followers who are speaking. Go back to their old videos when they started and look at their development. You will see that there's a speaker from South Africa that I've gone to watch his videos from, and I know how he started, how he developed, and you can catch from there. And one of the greatest opportunities today we have is social media. Use it, leverage it. You don't need to have a stage. The stage is already there in your phone. So put the camera in your face and start where you are and start to speak. Even if nobody is listening, you are preparing yourself. You can use what you have, start where you are.
Yeah, use what you have. That's where you are. Obed, please, do you have other questions for our guest speaker?
Yes, please. Thank you, Nhyiraba. So before I continue with my questions, I would want to take some few comments from the comment page. We have one from Priscilla Nhyiraba, who said, the moment I start talking, anxiety sets in. I think this is from the icebreaker we did earlier on. And our founder, Miss Ifwa Amponsa, also said, if you have tough audience, it can make the delivery difficult. So, Mr. Kwesi, what can you say about what Madam Ifwa is talking about?
Hey, but everyone is a boss. I've raised my hands for her. So I think the point I made is very. If you don't know the audience are kind of alien to you, your delivery will become very very difficult. You don't know how to connect. You don't know how to meet them. You don't know how to. They are not responding. They are not minding you. Everybody's on their phone. It becomes very very difficult. Yeah. Are you guys there? Right. So you're still
Oh,
listening to me. Okay.
looks like we've lost Kwasi, but
I'm here. Oh. I'm not gone. I'm here. Fully. I'm only
okay, then
active.
I think we've lost Obed instead.
Yeah, you've lost him. I ever said my dad. I'm here.
So okay, so continuing. What role does technology play in modern public speaking and presentation?
Wow. This question, I think you already know the answer. We are in a social media world and technology has transformed everything. First, you need to go to a certain school to speak. You have to go and get somebody to put you on. Somebody must invite you to an event. Today, all you need is your phone and you are good to go. You can host webnet, create podcasts, just go to any of your social media accounts and go live. You are speaking. Audience are now not local. It's a global audience now. You can record your own presentation. So what technology has done is that it has removed all the geographical barriers. It has removed all the gatekeepers out. So even in Ghana, you can speak and somebody in Ghana that will be influenced. Somebody in Australia will like you. You understand? So now the stage is global. So technology has moved away from all these. I won't put you on someone. That's why at first you can see somebody has been blacklisted, but now it's no more there. And you must understand that is also put a certain kind of pressure on you that it is a challenge for you to learn how to use it effectively when you are pursuing public speaking. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kwesi, so I was asking a question with regards to Miss Efue's comments. I was like, if you have a tough audience, how can it make your delivery difficult?
Yeah, I think I answered it. But you were offline. So I didn't mention that. That is why it is very important to know your audience before you speak, know their needs, know their pain points, and know how to relate with them. Okay, so when you don't have that information, there and there you can, as a speaker, find out certain things about them. Maybe you're going to talk about a topic or you're going to talk about LinkedIn. What I do is that I ask, oh, so how many people are active on LinkedIn? How many people post daily? How many people do this? So it gives you, I think, kind of a background to start from. Okay, but if there's nothing like that, it's very difficult to relate because when they talk, they won't hear, they don't respond, they don't laugh. Everything is like giddy giddy, quiet, and it's an uncomfortable place to be as a speaker.
Thank you. So, in your earlier submission, you kept talking about reading, reading, reading. But these days, what I've realized is that most people prefer to rather watch than to read. So, how can people who find themselves watching become very good public speakers as compared to those who read?
There's no shortcut to greatness. I must say, there's no shortcut to greatness at all. Reading does a lot of things. There's a whole science in reading. You can watch, but watching is a lazy way of getting information. It's better to even hear than to watch. So you can do the two, but reading is essential. Especially you reading something out also has a way of communicating to you. You get it. So when you want to do this, combine all the three. There's no shortcut. Reading is an exercise to your brain. When you communicate with words, read out words, it's something that's like your brain going to gym. So there's a whole I've read a whole because I used to be like that. I like to watch the videos and watch the things, but later one of my mentors told them, "See, there's no way out of this. You need to sit down, and it's painful to read, and you need to do. That's how you need to develop the habit of reading." He was telling me the way I talk, and then I have to then put the pencil in. He was the one who told me how the pencil works and read it at least 2 minutes. And you could see with time, you could see that you are pronouncing certain words clearer. You're able to pace yourself well. Your diction and articulation is improving. This is something that nothing can be done about it. You need to read. If you are using the watching as a complement, fine. Hearing audio podcasts and audio reading is important, but reading also is very key. So that I don't know, maybe somebody has a perfect answer in the comment section. We are all here to learn. So I'm open to that. You can put it there and give us your source and we'll go and read as well.
Thank you, Mr. Kwesi. So, to be a very good public speaker, you need to love reading. To our audience, I want to encourage each and every one. If you have any comments, if you have any question, you can put it in the chat section so that we read it out for our host to answer for us. Okay. To my next question, I want to know, how can public speaking be used as a tool for leadership and influence?
Well, I would say look at my life. I'm using public speaking to impact change in wherever I find myself. And every great leader you have seen has a certain level of efficacy and intelligent way of communicating. There's no leadership role that is workable without proper communication. So leadership is impossible without communication. One, as a leader, it helps you share your vision, inspire action, build trust, communicate alignment in a certain way. And then history remember leaders not for what they did, but also for what they said. That's why we quote them, you know. We quote them that this man said this man said this. So people follow people who can communicate clearly. They follow people who have conviction. They follow people who can communicate their vision very well. The reason why we follow Jesus Christ is his word. 2,000 years ago, and his word still reigns. You understand? So you can't decide to enter into leadership and not learn how to speak. You understand? And you only talk when you are annoying. You know, you don't have emotional intelligence. So at this day and age, you need to learn, put yourself in. You can learn anything in the world. You put yourself there and become a student of it, and it's going to work.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kwesi. So, as we conclude, I want to find out, what is the significance of effective communication in achieving personal and professional success?
Okay, so I'll say it like this: where you want to be in the next 10 years, and all the opportunities you want to have. Okay, the bridge that will take you there will be your communication. It's not how smart you are. It's how you can have the knowledge, you can have the skills, you can have the talent, or but if you cannot communicate them, people will never know you and know who you are. We are in the communication world, as I said earlier. So your communication will affect how you advance in your career. Like example, I'm just a librarian in a village. But my ability to when I'm talking about communication, let me broaden it a bit. I'm not talking about speaking, but to use text and other things to talk has expanded my vision, has expanded my career, businesses. I've developed more relationship with people. I have the level of influence. Okay, so one lesson that I have learned is that communication is so much important than any of them. So your ability to communicate that value is equally important. The world does not reward what it cannot see. You understand? And people cannot appreciate what they do not understand. So learn how to make it easy for people to understand you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kwesi. So, we would want to thank you so much for the insightful responses you've given to us for today's section. At this point, we would like to open the floor for questions from our audience. If you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hands or drop them in the chat for us to read aloud to our guests. We would love to hear from all of you. Thank you.
Okay, so I think somebody has put in the comment section that how can you overcome stage fright? Have you seen that? Okay, so if I'm allowed to answer, am I allowed to answer? Okay, all right. So the question that I answered earlier is that you must first understand that stage fright is all normal. Okay, even experienced speakers, pastors at a point will feel that. So the goal is not to eliminate the fear, but is to perform despite the fear. So stop focusing on yourself instead of saying that, oh, um, what if I forget what I'm going to say? What if people laugh at me? What if I make mistakes? What if they don't like me? Instead, how can I help this audience? The shift in this mindset will move you from self-consciousness to service, and your anxiety will reduce. People are not waiting for you to. People are not waiting for you to feel honestly. So you must understand that they are rather hoping for you to succeed and get something for you are trying to say. And prepare. Preparation will do more for you than you think. Confidence comes from preparation. Okay. So learn how to start your opening, how to list your key points, use your stories and conclusion. And then practice out loud. Most people prepare in their head. That's a mistake. Speak the speech. Like go there and speak in front of the mirror to the friend whilst walking, recording yourself. Move away from thinking your head game and get to a position where your brain will be comfortable with what you've been doing. But most of the time we plan in our head, practice in our head, but because we not rehearse in front of people, when we see people, it's as if we don't know what to say. So start from there. Start small. Do not wait to speak to 2,000 people. No, it can be a class presentation, a team meeting, social media videos. Maybe start from there. And if you are going for physical event, try and go there early, familiarize with yourself, walk around, touch the microphone, stand in front of the seat, and try and see meet people. When you do that, the stage will become more intimidating because you know the people already, you've met them earlier. And then when you are speaking, try and control your breath, speak slowly. There's a 4 second rule that comes on when the nervousness starts, you count 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. You hold your breath. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you release and you count 1, 2, like 6 seconds. It's when you do it several times that your brain is safe. You understand? So you can use that and accept that imperfection is part of you. Okay, the way you speak cannot change, but I accept the imperfection is about yourself, how you pronounce certain word. Maybe your L and R is not good. Accept that these are things so that when it happens, you understand. So mistakes are about to happen. Things are about to unplanned events will happen. To expect them, and then use your stories. Don't go and take something that you're not strong inside. Use your stories. Something your stories are your crown. Things you've been through. When you go and state facts, somebody can also challenge you with facts. But when you use your own stories, it creates a certain level of flow. When you're telling your stories, you are more relaxed because you know it, and the audience can relate with that. And it also sounds very natural. You understand? And then find way of reframing your nervousness. So sometimes I tell them, I'm not nervous, I'm excited because I'm going to give enough things, when especially fans are coming, find ways of doing that. I know that people don't know what you're going to say. It's only you. So they don't know whether you're lying. Just so that it can help you gain confidence. Okay. Most mistakes are invisible because of audience will not even know. My personal advice is that when you start speaking and creating content, don't start because you are confident or you are an expert or it will come. Just keep showing up. The more you show up, you become more exceptional. You must be consistent before you become exceptional. I think these are things that I would want to say. And remember that the stage is not where your confidence is tested. It is where it's built. Okay. So every time you speak, you are adding, you're training yourself, to the belief where you can do this. Eventually you can overcome this terrifying nervousness and you can become your second nature. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Kwasi, for sharing your knowledge, experiences, and practical insights with us today. Today's discussion has shown us that public speaking is more than just standing in front of an audience. It is about confidence, preparation, connection, and influence. What I've learned personally is that facts inform, stories transform. Yeah. We have learned that while fear is natural, it can be overcome through practice, preparation, and the right mindset. We have also seen effective communication can create, inspire change, strengthen leadership. On behalf of AAA Foundation and the Rise Project, we sincerely thank you for adding tremendous value to the session. We, we are very grateful. Also, we thank everyone who joined us today. Your participation made this discussion meaningful and impactful. Thank you.
All right, thank you too.
Okay. Thank you all for being part of today's session. We hope you leave feeling inspired, more confident, and ready to take the next step in your public speaking.
And stay blessed.
Have a wonderful evening, and we look forward to seeing you at our next Rise session. Thank you, and goodbye. Have a good night.